Hi, my name is Aisha. Welcome to Challenging Beliefs first podcast episode. In this very special episode, we will be talking with a Muslim revert. Her name is Inayat Noor, and today we will be talking about her first-hand experience with Islam. Please welcome Inayat.
Assalamu alaikum, I'm Inayat Noor. Thank you for having me here.
So let's start with the obvious. How long has it been since your Shahada?
I remember taking my Shahada at the masjid in late November. But I think it should be around 8 months as it's July right now.
So Inayat, did you stumble upon Islam or did you have previous exposure to it?
I was actually from kindergarten till now. I was actually around Muslim people, in particular Pakistani kids or even Indians. Very less of them, but mostly Pakistanis. So I had a bit of exposure to them, but they were not like, let's say, devout Muslims. So I would not say I had much of an experience. But I would have like one or two really close friends who would be really serious about Islam, and then they would educate me about it, and it was very interesting. So that's how my curiosity started, and then I started exploring Islam from the very basics, and that's how I got to learn about Islam. Okay.
So Inayat, can I know what made you revert to Islam?
It was actually very simple. Like, if you see Islam from its very, let's say, the very roots, you would think, why would a person not revert to Islam? It's a very peaceful religion, and then the rules are very simple. It's just nowadays because of the influence of the Western culture, and also our borders, like India. So people make it hard because everything we consider sinful in our religion, people make it, it's very normalized nowadays. It's common. So being pious, at least like doing the very basic, like praying your 5 daily prayers, they make it seem like it's very an agonizing thing to do. They see it as a something that is forced upon them than to see it as something that is beneficial for them.
I agree with your point. Now, may I ask you, did you have any previous misconceptions about Islam?
I think I did to some extent because, as I said, I was not surrounded by devout Muslims. They were mostly enforced by their culture, which is very different from Islam itself. So the previous misconceptions I may have had could be that Islam is like a one-way religion, that you go all or nothing. Like, for example, if you're wearing a niqab or hijab, you should cover yourself completely. Like, because like some people, they decide, they prefer taking steps. It's easier for them that way. And then, but like the culture, the way they see it, and they perceive Islam as a male dominated religion, which is not true at all. So I used to think that females were oppressed, they were forced to cover up, and I used to think that the men have more rights compared to the women. And I think that's one of the misconceptions I had. And another one would be that I thought Islam was very strict, like very strict and restrictive, which was not true at all.
So moving on to next question, do you think Islam has a hand in perpetuating these beliefs, or is it all culture?
Well, I don't really have a clear, like, I can't say it's fully Islam or culture, but I feel like there are so many scholars that we follow. They consider themselves to be fully Islamic, not cultural based. Like many sheikhs out there in Saudi Arabia. Okay, let's say there are many, like Dr. Zakir Naik, but I feel like they just derive everything from the Quran, but they distort it somehow. So I feel like it's not Islam, but I think they make it as seem like it is from Islam. They think, for example, some people say that the hijab is not mandatory, and then some people think that like all men, they should have, like, it's a sunnah to have 4 wives, but they think all men should have, which is not true at all, because it's kind of impossible to treat every wife equally right now. And then I also think that it's also the culture which has hand in perpetuating Islam, because let's say Pakistan, Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and Bangladesh, many Muslim countries, even Saudi Arabia actually, they're not really Islamic. I dare to say they're not Islamic at all. Let's say if you see it from outside, they will be like, we're Muslims. If you go inside, you see the interiors. So many things are going wrong inside. Let's say interior Sindh, north of Pakistan. Many things are happening. It's not Islamic at all. Even the most, recognized Muslim leaders, they have committed the most heinous crimes. If you can see, muftis and qari sabs, and yeah, I think it's usually because they take Islam in their own hands, yeah, and then they make it, they make it a culture. They make their crimes a small thing. They hide it with Islam. They're like, Allah forgives all of us, so why won't you guys forgive us for something like that?
So Inayat, do you think that we should educate people about the differences between religion and culture?
Yeah, obviously we should, because culture has destroyed many lives of Muslims. Let's say, for example, a girl wants to get married, but the in-laws, they ask for dowry. And then what if the other, the girl is from a poor family and they can't afford to get married? I think. And then culture is mostly, chauvinistic, male dominated, right? And Islam is completely, let's say Islam is equal, but not really equal, but Islam has held women as on a higher rank compared to men. Males are considered the guardians, unlike feminism, they're we can protect ourselves, but it's actually because for women, for example, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he put women in a rank because Allah did as well. Women are considered, let's say, one woman is compared to many sons. You get it? But in culture, they're there should be a boy mostly, because of for continuing the generation or something like that. You have seen in Pakistan, they have killed baby girls, for just being born as a female. So I feel we should educate people about the differences between Islam itself and the cultures. Yeah.
That was really insightful, Inayat. So do you have any last words for our audience, or do you have something to say?
I feel as a revert myself, I don't know much, but I think, okay, let's say I'm surrounded by Muslims myself, and then I feel all of us should be reminded about that about the mercy of our God, and then never be despair of His mercy, because you never know when will He forgive you. You can just ask Him for forgiveness once, and then never let your heart be so so astray. Never let yourself be so astray that you forget you're so void of the fear of God, and then you start committing sins every day. Right? I think everyone should be reminded once in a while, but it's up to them. Obviously, we can just remind them.
So thank you, Inayat, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me today as well.
I'm sure our audience will be able to learn something from you, and we'll also strive to keep pushing the right word. Thank you again.